Right, you've probably guessed by now, but I'm going to be photographing this lily, and I'm going to do it differently. I've taken pictures of these lilies over the years many times, but this time I'm going to do it with my pinhole camera and get very close so we can see the inside of it. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but it's well worth a try, I think. So I've just moved the plant pot up to a darker background, which is the shed, and then I have to do a little bit of gardening just to clear some of the other lilies, these, just to get them out of the picture without damaging the lilies herself, because if I do, I'm a dead man. My wife takes a lot of pride in growing these, so I better be very, very careful. So I'm just going to tie back some of these very carefully and then get the camera set up. Right, so that's got the lilies that I don't want to photograph out of the pictures, and I've just got this main lily that's open. So I'm going to set my camera up now and get very close to the image. There's a bamboo stick at the back, and I'm going to tie the lily that I'm going to photograph to that, just to stop a little bit of movement in the lily, because it's a little bit windy today. So just tie this back gently, and it'll just help to stop it moving a little bit. So I'll set the camera up. I'm going to use my 4x5 pinhole camera, so that's set to the correct pinhole size for the 3 panels together. I'm going to align the pinhole to the centre of the flower and to go down lower. Looks about right. Right, I'm going to use a Kodak Tri-X, and I'm going to rate it at 1000 ISO, and that will give me a faster shutter speed, because this is going to move slightly. I'm not using any filters for this picture. I normally use an orange filter, but I don't see any need to do this for this photograph. So I'm just putting the 4x5 film holder onto the pinhole camera. Cable release. Get what I think is the correct distance. I don't want to take any of the edges of the flowers out. I want to get the whole lily in if I can. Need to go up a little bit more. Touch more. Just checking to see if this pinhole's centre with the flower. Just level the pinhole camera up. Need to go aside a little bit. That's level. Now I'm just eyeballing what I think the composition is going to be. So my film's about there, the edge of the film's there, so the line comes across, so I'm definitely going to get the lily in at that distance. I'll come in a little bit closer. Again, so the film is the line coming across down there, line coming across there, so I'm going to get that in at that angle. Right, take a light meter reading. I'm going to meter off the grey card again to give me an average reading, so 1000 ISO. I'm getting 60th of a second there. I might just angle the camera down slightly because the flower is leaning back slightly, so I'm just going to angle it down slightly. This is the most important part when you're taking the pictures, to get all the settings right, especially with the pinhole. The pinhole is lined up dead centre to the lily itself. Now I've just got to wait till I get a little bit of a lull in the wind. I will just wait until that happens. So I don't think in these weather conditions that I'm going to be able to photograph this without it moving. So I'm going to have to fragment the exposure. In other words, I'll take a picture, expose the film while the lily is not moving, and as soon as it starts moving I'll close the shutter, stop the timer, then wait till it stops moving again and keep doing that until I reach the exposure. It's just a way of working. If you photographing a single subject like this and you are getting movement, you can get a sharper picture by, I call it, fragmenting the exposure. So I'll probably have to speed this part up because it's going to take a while. So I'll just wait till it stops, take the exposure, when it starts moving again, stop the exposure and carry on doing that. So this is the first exposure. No movement yet, keep going. So I'll stop the exposure, wait till it stops again, then start it. Second exposure. It's moving, stop again. And carry on doing this until we reach the desired time. So I took in total 8 separate exposures, and hoping when the flower settled from moving, it settled into the same position when I took the first exposure. Now for those people that are wondering why I meter from a grey card, it's what they call an 18% grey card. So when I point my spot meter at that 18% grey card, I get an 18% reading reflected back into the light meter, and I know that when it does that, the camera is placing that card on zone 5, so from there I can then control the exposure. The grey card reflects the exact same amount of light for zone 5 that's falling onto the lily itself, so you do get a good accurate reading, and it gives you, as I say, a place to start controlling your exposures. It gives you a zone to work to, so that's why I use the 18% grey card for this. I could have used an instant light reading, but I don't think it would be as accurate as using the actual grey card. So I'll go get this developed now and see how it turns out. As I say, I used, I think it was 8 separate exposures each time, trying to take the photograph when the lily wasn't moving, because it's quite windy, as you can see now. Everything's blowing about, so I'm going to be a happy chappy if this turns out. But as I've said loads of times in the previous videos, if you never experiment, you never find out if these things work. So if it does, it's a way of controlling movement using separate exposures of the same subject and then bringing it up to the desired exposure time that you meter for. Okay, I'll get this developed and let you see the picture.